Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dr. Subayal Khan, and today we are going to discuss the Bitcoin price and the current state of the market. So, those of you who don't know me, you can go to my website www.subayal.com and have a look at my competences, my awards, and also at the same time, you can have a look at my book, The Nonconformist Salesperson, and other competences. With that said, let's go ahead and dive deep into the topic of today. So, most of you must be very stressed by when you will be looking at the chart. So, for example, we peaked out at $41,000 and then we came down to $32,000, then above, and that is a classical head and shoulder pattern. Over here, of course, at some point we felt that we might actually go above, and this head and shoulders pattern will not play out, but it did, and now we are going down. So, is there really a reason to be afraid of or not? So, let's go ahead and look at that. As BTC consolidates above previous highs, it is crucial to understand that current Bitcoin bull cycle is still in its early stages. Is it really in its early stages or not? This is something which we are gonna investigate, and also at the same time we are gonna look uh, at the strong hands and also the weak hands, like institutions, who is buying at the current time and who is not buying at the current time or selling at the current time. So let's go ahead. We start off by a very interesting graph which was mentioned by Mr. Peter Brandt. For those of you who don't know him, he has over 45 years of experience in trading. I have read his book, Diary of a Professional Commodity Trader. Do check it out, and it is an amazing read. This is what the gentleman has said. During the 2015 to 17 bull market in Bitcoin, there were 9 significant corrections with the following averages: 37% decline from high to low. So that is the average. Some declines were even more, 40 or 45%. 14 weeks from one all-time high to the next all-time high. So that was the average duration from one all-time high. So for example, if we were here, and then if we reached here, then here. So the average of all of these, the duration between them was 14 weeks, and the difference in the price between the high and the low over here, high low over here, the percentage difference was 37%. So even if we just consider the 37% average, our price currently for the dip should be from the all-time high should be around 28,000 US 25,000 US dollars. So there is no need to panic right now. So the what I mean to say is that such corrections are absolutely normal and there is simply no need to panic. And now let's go ahead and see whether the institutions or strong hands are accumulating right now, or else if they are selling. So over here we can see that the institutions are buying right now. So Skybridge bought $182 million. One River bought 600 million in Bitcoin, and buying 400 millions in Bitcoin more. Guggenheim bought 530 millions, Ruffer 744 millions, Mass Mutual 100 million, MicroStrategy bought 1.125 billions, and Square bought 50 million. So the herd is coming, but this herd is not the herd of retail traders currently. It is the herd of institutional investors. So at the later stage of the bull cycle, we will see the retail traders flocking into the crypto space. So it simply means that we are in the early stages, because the institutions, if they are accumulating right now, this tweet over here was not published a long time back. It was just published on the 15th of January. So if the institutions are buying at prices of over 30K or around 30K, do you really think that they are going to sell their Bitcoin at the prices at the price which is less than that? No, they will actually hold the Bitcoins and then they will sell them or distribute them at a much higher price. So it simply means that we are in the very beginning of this bull cycle. Now let's dive deep a little bit more and see which institutions are more active in buying the Bitcoin. So over here we can see that a leaked Citibank report reveals Bitcoin could rocket to 300,000 price by the end of 2021. So if Citibank thinks that Bitcoin will reach this price, will they not get exposed to this amazing asset class? Of course they will. And if they will buy at high prices, do you really think that they are going to sell at lower prices? No, they will keep it for the long haul, and they will only sell it if they have made a good return. And that is a very interesting one. Morgan Stanley massively increases Bitcoin exposure through MicroStrategy. And if we look over here, MicroStrategy bought 1.125 billion US dollars worth of Bitcoin. So even if Morgan Stanley is not buying the Bitcoin directly, it is exposing itself to this amazing asset class by acquiring MicroStrategy or indirectly. And look at that, Guggenheim Investments. Bitcoin is worth 400,000 based on scarcity relevant value to gold. So just look at that. Look at their comments. Guggenheim Investments, an asset management firm with over 230 billion under management, has valued Bitcoin at $400,000 based on fundamental analysis. So things are looking quite bullish. And then JP Morgan predicts 146k Bitcoin price as competition with gold escalates. So JP Morgan sets Bitcoin price target at $146,000. If they are setting these targets for Bitcoin, don't you think that they will be exposed to that? Of course they will be. And look at that. Goldman Sachs to enter crypto market soon with custody play. US banking powerhouse Goldman Sachs has issued a request for information RFI to explore digital asset custody according to a source inside the bank. And when was this article published? January 15, 2021. So if Goldman Sachs is interested to buy Bitcoin at these prices, let's see what was the price on January the 15th. Yeah, it was around $39,000. Do you really think that the outlook for Bitcoin is bearish overall? And looking at this interview of billionaire Stanley Druckenmiller, Bitcoin has a lot of attraction as a store of value. It was out on November 9, 2020. So I personally believe that the outlook of Bitcoin is quite bullish currently. Paul Tudor Jones makes bull case for Bitcoin. The path forward from here is north. While Jones doesn't consider himself as a cryptocurrency expert by any stretch, he told Yahoo Finance that he expects the digital coin will be substantially higher in 20 years. On Thursday, Bitcoin, which has surged 113% since May, was trading north of 19,300 with a $359.7 billion market cap. And now, a 169-year-old Mass Mutual invests 100 million in Bitcoin. This article was published on the 10th of December 2020, not that far away. Square reports over 1 billion in quarterly Bitcoin revenue for first time Q3 earnings. And that is really bullish for the Bitcoin. This article was published on the November the 5th, 2020. It was a monster quarter for Square's Bitcoin business. The Cash App generated 1.63 billion of Bitcoin revenue and 32 million of Bitcoin gross profit during the third quarter of 2020, up approximately 11 times and 15 times year over year. The publicly traded payments firm wrote in its Q3 investor letter published Thursday at the market close. And the most bullish of all news are these. PayPal says all users in US can now buy hold, and sell cryptocurrencies. These are not new news, by the way, but all what I am saying is that if the company like PayPal, which is known to billions of people, if they trust Bitcoin, if they think it is worth something, if they think that it is worth making its way to their platform, I personally believe that Bitcoin is here to stay and it will mint many millionaires in the coming future. And these are other bullish news. It shows how much interested institutions and big firms are in accumulating Bitcoin currently. So, Grayscale Investment Holdings, who doesn't know about Grayscale? Look at their BTC holdings, 642,000 BTC they hold, valued at about 20.27 billion US dollars. Then look at their Ethereum holdings in billions, Litecoin 164 million, Bitcoin Cash 111 million, Ethereum Classic 91 million, and the total sum of all of these is 24.15 billion. So if the cryptocurrencies were not here to stay, if they didn't had a good future, and if they didn't had any value, why would Grayscale hold 24.15 billion of cryptocurrencies? And here is another interesting article. Nigel Green, CEO of UK-based financial advisory from DeVere Group, has said he sold 50% of his Bitcoin holdings over Christmas as the cryptocurrency's price surged to new highs. In a blog post last week, Green said that as Bitcoin neared $25,000 per coin, he made the decision to sell half of his holding, explaining it is better to sell high and rebuy the dips. Rebuy the dips. The steady gains in the price of Bitcoin has made the digital currency the top performing asset of 2020, up over 200%. As such, I felt the time was right for profit taking, he said. So, just 200% gains. That is pretty normal for BTC, isn't it? So, having observed the accumulation of Bitcoin by the institutions, do you really think that this chart by Mr. Peter Brandt makes sense? If it makes sense, you must understand that Bitcoin is a very volatile asset. Having said that, the corrections of 37% on average during a bull run when we continuously make higher highs is pretty normal. So you should not panic at all. However, you must understand that it all depends on the time horizon, or the time, meaning the time span at which you are looking at an asset. It is always good to look back at the BTC chart and see what has happened in the past, so that you can have less sleepless nights, so that you are not glued to the block folio all the time, and you can enhance your well-being. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, have a wonderful day and see you in the next video. Bye.